Hi there, friends. Hey, I wanted to share with you today how I clean my makeup brushes. You know, I do not do this often enough, but because I'm sitting down to do it today, I'm going to show you what I use that has been recommended to me that is phenomenal in this strategy. Okay, so you're gonna need your dirty brushes. I like to use a just regular dark black cloth to put down on my workstation because, you know, it could get a little messy. And then I use a glass jar. Now this is just a jar that I had a candle in actually, and I just put it in the freezer, popped it out, popped the wax out so that I could use this jar for this, okay? So now this is what was recommended to me from, in fact, a ton of professional makeup artists use this brand. It's called Cinema Secrets, okay? Now, what it is it's straight up makeup brush cleaner. That's what it's designed for. And you just wanna pour a little small amount into your jar. You do not need a ton. And in fact, it does evaporate quickly. It has even been evaporating from this bottle. I've had this bottle for probably too long, like over a year at least. And I wouldn't recommend this giant bottle unless you're a professional makeup artist, but I would just get a smaller one because it does evaporate. Okay, that is really, really important. And I'll link that for you in my Amazon shop. If you go to winatpageant.com/shop, you can find this brand. Okay, so now I just use this old washcloth I do not use this on my face at all. I only use it to clean my makeup brushes. So that is what I'm going to use to wipe my brushes on. Okay, so all you do, and watch this. I'm gonna start with this one. This is my blush brush, and this is like just a cheap brush, so you'll see the color fade quickly. So all you do is you put in about 1/3 of the bristles. Perhaps you saw that. It soaks it up. Now it's dripping into there, which I don't want. I want it to drip onto here. So when you just dunk it in slightly, it pulls up, it like sucks up all of the, into the brushes, okay? That's what you want, because now it's like all saturating there and it's kind of like doing its work, okay? So I let it sit for just a moment or two, and then I just brush it out onto the washcloth, okay? Like really super simple. And this one you can't tell as much because this is my blush brush. So, and the bristles are even a little bit pink. And I'm using a pink washcloth, so it's not quite as obvious, but you'll be able to see how beautiful the brush comes out in the end. Okay, so now it's a little bit moist still, so I'm just gonna set it aside on the drying towel, okay? Now let's do this one. This is my cream foundation brush. It's been through a lot. I think it's by Sephora or something. So I'm gonna do the same thing, all right? Just the top bristles, just like 1/3 of it in, and it soaks it up the rest of the way, okay? You let it sit for a moment. I'm gonna let that one go. Let's do this other foundation brush. Just the beginning of it, just enough to let it kind of soak up. Now you never want to tip your brush when it's wet. You never wanna tip it like this because these bristles go all the way into here where they're clamped. So you don't want it to get wet inside of here, okay? Like even with your shampoo. If some people wash their brushes with like water and shampoo and stuff, and that's fine, but then it gets in here and it starts to get rotty and molding and it can pull the bristles out, okay? So that is what you don't wanna do. So with this is like more of the reason it evaporates so quickly is because it's like an alcohol. So that's why it evaporates, and it's because it's gonna evaporate inside of your brush too. That's what you want. You want it to actually not stay in those bristles for long. You want it, as soon as you wash it off, you want it to evaporate and just be donezo, so it's not still soaking in there, okay? So you don't really wanna like turn it upside down so that the bristles, but I am to check it. It's like that easy. This cleans so quickly. Oh, this one you can really tell that it's like how it's coming off. Oh, but that's great. So now sometimes it will happen with this one, I can tell like, oh, yikes. Like this one probably hasn't been cleaned in a while because like a ton is coming out here. So I'm gonna do it a second time. I can still see there's a little bit left on it. So I'm just gonna soak up another little bit, let it sit for a moment just to kind of like, work its magic there, and then brush it out again. And I'm obviously moving around this washcloth. I'm not just only brushing in the same area. I'm kind of moving it around so I'm not picking up the old stuff too, okay? All right, yeah, all right. So it looks like I need a little bit more. And I don't, like I said, I don't fill this glass because I know it'll just evaporate so quickly. So I just put a little bit in at a time, make it super simple. Now, I would love to hear how often do you actually clean your brushes? I'm curious because, you know, and I guess it does depend on how often are you using your brushes too. You know, if you're not using your brushes every single day, then of course you don't need to be washing your brushes every week or something, you know. But if you do use them every single day, like many of us pageant gals do, then you're probably going to want to wash them more often. Of course, if you are a professional artist, you're probably washing them between every single client that you're working with, right? So that's why this brand is so great, because it works so fast. And it does take a little bit of drying time. So I'm going to do these small ones with this left. It does take a little bit of drying time, but not a ton, because it's like that alcohol type thing, you know, like a rubbing alcohol kind of, that evaporates very quickly. Okay. So that's that, my dear. I hope that I have encouraged you to wash your brushes. You know, the benefit of washing your brushes is to really keep the bacteria off of your face. You know, when you're putting stuff on your face and then leaving it sit for a while, and then a week later you're picking it back, or the next day, and then you're doing that for a week, then there gets to be some grimy stuff on these brushes, you know? So you just want to get that off of there so that you're able to have the healthiest skin, and that's going to make the best foundation for any makeup that you apply. So I hope that this was helpful for you. Leave any tips that you have for cleaning your makeup brushes in the comments below this video so that we can share everything. I know I am not a professional makeup artist. This is an area that makeup in general is an area that I'm still growing in. So I would love to hear your tips on exactly what do you do, how often do you clean your brushes, maybe you have a different product that you could recommend too. I'd love, love, love to hear from you. So leave your notes in the comments, and happy brush cleaning.